So you seem to know a lot about the history of the worker struggle here and the lack of the union's leadership willingness to put their workers out here on the picket lines. And if you could say a couple words for Occupy TV, it's a
Okay.
national.
Well, what we have to understand about the union leadership is that the union leadership is the transmission belt of the ruling class into the working class. The union leadership, the AFL-CIO leadership, the SEIU leadership, the AFSCME leadership, they've all signed on to support the major capitalist party in the United States, the Democratic Party, in the next elections. They pretend that they're representing the 99%. What's her name? Mary Kay Henry got herself arrested. She's the SEIU president, got herself arrested on the Brooklyn Bridge, and then the next day promised support for Obama. Well, what happened when the Democrats got elected in 2008? They were promising us the Employee Free Choice Act, and they had a Democratic majority for 2 years, and we don't have the Employee Free Choice Act, so we have a hard time organizing the unorganized. The task of labor is to organize the unorganized, and we are down to 11% of the American working class is organized. Without organization, without unions, we are getting our wages driven down to the level of the third world, and that's what Goldman Sachs wants. Goldman Sachs wants us to be able to compete with workers in sweatshops in China and Vietnam and Burma. Why? So they can bring a little bit of manufacturing back here, but at $7, $8, $9, and $10 an hour. And that's what the fight is against. The fight is against the third worldization of the first world worker. And the so-called middle class, which is actually the working class, is losing day by day. I'm a public worker. We've had our wages slashed. We've been on furloughs for 3 years. We're putting in more money for our pensions. Our insurance has gone up. And what do our unions do? They say, you have to share the pain. You have to give your dues money to the Democrats because they're going to be better off for you. Well, we gave our dues money to Jerry Brown in the last election. And he came in, and our union was talking about, when Jerry Brown is in, we're going to get a better contract. Well, what did Jerry Brown do to our union, the California Association of Professional Scientists? He said, well, we're not changing our offer. You got the same Schwarzenegger deal that everybody else signed on to, and that was a give-back concessionary deal. It screws the future workers. What it does to the future workers, it says, you're going to not be able to retire at the same time. You have to put more money into your pension. You have to put more money into your medical, and it's going to take you longer to become a vested worker. Now, what does that do to solidarity in the union movement? It splits the younger workers from the older workers, and that's what they're trying to do. The Democrats are behind it. The Republicans are behind it. Wall Street's 1%, or actually it's the 0.01%. We know the truth about those numbers, sure. And that we're really not the 99%. We're really the 87.362%, okay. Because they've got about 12% of cops and lawyers and brokers that are part of that 1%.
Sure. Sure. So, now, what do you think the action today that's effectively, to this point, shut down the port, what do you hope to accomplish with this?
We're trying to turn the whole movement around to show that the point of production is where the action is. We have to stop the wheels of capitalism at the ports. Now, we've shut down the port of Portland. We've shut down the port of San Diego. We've shut down the port of LA, and the arbitrators are soon going to tell us that we shut down the port of Oakland. Now, what that does is it scares the bejesus out of Wall Street. Why did they spend $40,000 on a one-page ad in the Chronicle to stop this? Why did they send in Uno, the commissioner, to the Alameda Labor Council with his wife, Josie Camacho, who's the treasurer secretary, to stop the Alameda Labor Council from supporting the port shutdown? Because the 1% and the trade union leadership, this is what we talked about before, are in it together. They have a team concept that capital and labor can work together. But capital and labor can only work together when there's a rising ship. And now we don't have a rising ship. We have a sinking ship. We have a sinking Titanic.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
Charles Rackless. I'm a public worker in the state of California.
Thank you, Charles.